I'm very pleased to be able to welcome each of you here tonight to this musical festival, and indeed it will be a festival. We've already enjoyed a sample of the music which the Ingle Farm Band has to offer us. Some years ago, for 3 weeks, I had the pleasure of being a member of this band. Of course, lots changed since then, and I think if I was around in these days, I probably wouldn't be good enough to be a member. They're doing very well indeed, and we'll enjoy a lot of their music this evening. We welcome bandmaster Gordon Collins, a fine musician and the leader of this group. And as I've said, as the evening progresses, you will hear more of them and appreciate the message and music that they bring. The chairman for this evening's meeting is Captain Craig Campbell, and I should give you a few words of warning about Craig's chairmanship. I know a bit about him. He's my brother-in-law, and before that was ever thought of, I shared a house with him and others for about 3 years.
I warned you, I know as much about you.
I'll take a chance. I can tell you he's not very good at getting up in the morning. He's not real good at cleaning toilets either. Making sandwiches wasn't one of his strong points in the morning. He's not bad as a cook. He's okay at the laundromat doing the household washing. And shopping, he's not bad at finding a bargain. Well, over the years I've had some opportunity to train him, even to the extent that when he was in the training college as a cadet, I was on the staff for a year, and so actually he's developed quite well. And I would commend Craig to you as a Salvation Army officer of energy, enthusiasm and spiritual insight. And I'm sure he will do a fine job of chairing this program. Would you like to welcome Craig and Laurel Campbell, the officers of the Ingle Farm Corps, bandmaster Collins, and the members of the Ingle Farm Band? Would you like to greet them? As we commence this evening, we want to ask God's blessing upon our gathering. And so I would ask Mrs. Captain Laurel Campbell to come and pray with us.
Let us pray together. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Lord, we thank you for the gift of music, and we seek this night to bring glory to your name. We pray that in all that is said and done, you might be glorified, praise might be given to you. We welcome you here amongst us. Continue with us, we pray, in the strong name of Jesus. Amen.
Indeed, we do feel very welcome, and we're grateful to you for making us feel just that way. We've enjoyed your lovely city and the fellowship that we've taken part in to this point. Captain Wayman, thanks for your words of greeting. I don't let opportunities pass usually. My mind went back as the captain was speaking to the privilege I had of being in his wedding party. And it took place on the weekend of our commissioning, and that was my sister's and my commissioning. We were both in the same session. And I must have been pretty busy over that time, because when it came time at the reception for the speeches to be made, it suddenly occurred to me, as best man, I was supposed to have a speech ready. And so the table napkin came in handy for a brief outline. I had to dredge through my memory for this significant occasion. And one incident came to mind in this. And it was this: we attended the wedding of another friend in the Corps some years earlier. We lived in this unit together, and Jim drove a 1957 Volkswagen, and I drove a 1956 Volkswagen. We went to this wedding, and we must have been travelling in Jim's car on this occasion. At the wedding breakfast, at the end of it, this aromatic cheese came around, gorgonzola, Ever smelled it? It's wonderful stuff. So I ate my fruit cake that came in the wedding bag and I replaced it with a decent lump of gorgonzola cheese. And I opened this bag and left it under the driver's seat of Jim's car. And Jim drove around for several weeks with his friend under his seat. And when eventually he was told, the answer was this: gee, I thought my feet had been bad lately. That's one of many stories we could share from those rather carefree and happy days in the various houses that we lived in Adelaide together. Maybe some more of them will come out through the night, we'll see. The band is shared already. Firstly, an arrangement of Hosanna, written by two people by the name of Smith, but arranged by our own bandmaster, Gordon Collins. We then heard Joyful, Joyful, an arrangement by Leonard Valentine of this theme from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Just now we take up the march of Robert Redhead. He spent time in Canada. He's currently, I think, the bandmaster of the ISB, but while in Canada, wrote this march to celebrate the opening of a new Salvation Army building in Mississauga, a city on the western side of Toronto in Canada. The band now brings to us the march, Mississauga.
item is the vocal solo that will be brought to you by bandsman Graham Denholm, accompanied by the band. It is a song of hope, and it draws its inspiration from the first 4 verses of chapter 21 in the book of Revelation, as recorded in the Living Bible. Then I saw a new earth and a new heaven, for the present earth and sky had disappeared. And I, John, saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. It was a glorious sight, beautiful as a bride dressed at her wedding. I heard a loud shout from the throne saying, "Look, the home of God is now among men, and he will live with them, and they will be his people. Yes, God himself will dwell among them. He will wipe away all tears from their eyes. There will be no more sorrow, nor death, nor crying, nor pain. All of that has gone forever."
Wonderful expression of confident expectation, isn't it? Hope these days is too wishy-washy a word, but that's what we look forward to. And hope is very much an Easter word, a resurrection word. A little bit of background may have been necessary to that Gorgonzola cheese story. The reality was that in, what was it, 1970, towards the end of the year, my parents left home. And they left home to come over here to Hobart as divisional commanders, leaving behind three of us. My sister Marion, who you know, myself and my younger brother Ian. We moved into a house which we paid the princely sum of $4 a week rent. We were to look after a retired officer in there. She never made it home from hospital, and maybe that was just as well. Nonetheless, we redecorated our house for her in very, well, the colours of the day, you'd have to say. These days we may not like them. Jim came onto the scene in Adelaide, and he was needing a place to live, so he moved in with us. So it's true to say here at Hobart that you see those lived together before they were married. Good thing I've got the microphone. I can say no romance blossomed until they were miles apart and Marion had gone in a lay capacity to Zambia. We'd said our farewells at Port Adelaide shipping terminal, and off she went to Zambia. It's then that the romance developed, isn't it? I could tell you more about the romance. Maybe later. But that's why we were living in a house together. Marion went off. It was Jim and Ian and myself, and let me say, Jim was a much better kind of player than he gave himself credit for here, and probably still is. But coming back to weddings and cheese, came time for my wedding, a year after Jim's, and sure enough, we guarded our car, our prized possession, very carefully. Nobody had got anywhere near it, until my brother, as I walked past, reached into my pocket and grabbed the keys. So the time came for Laurel and myself to drive off on our honeymoon. It was a cool summer's evening, and so the car heater went on. And did we get a nasty surprise? Guess where they'd stuck the smelly cheese? It was up the heater of the car. Dear me. You know, there was only one way to get rid of that cheese out of the heater of that car. And eventually we took that way. And I'm sure that the people that bought that trade-in got a nasty surprise when they discovered that cheese up the heater. Am I finished? Asked Doug. You're right, Doug. It's not about stories about our carefree days of youth. It's a musical evening. And Doug Jones has been a musician for many years now. When did you start as a brass player, Doug? Start as a brass player. He was 7 years of age, which is 65 years ago, is that right? So Doug is the great-grandfather within our band, and he brings to us a euphonium solo based on an arrangement by George Marshall. The words of this, in evil long I took delight. Well, Doug can tell you about that later, after the meeting, but it goes on to a very more positive outcome as the solo proceeds. Doug Jones with the euphonium solo, Ransom. Doug, we really appreciated the fruit of those 65 years of playing brass. Somebody who's played a musical instrument for considerably less a time is Catherine Hobbs. She's touring with the band, and she has a twin brother in the first cornet section. It's not the one with the grey beard there, it's the one next to him. She has her father as the band secretary, the band sergeant, and of course her mother has come just to keep an eye on them all, and she's doing that very competently down there with the video. So the whole family's here. Catherine attends the Marriottville High School, which is a special music education school in Adelaide. And she brings to us the flute solo, the Allegro for flute and piano, written by Leonardo Vinci, not the famous Italian, but a little-known 18th century composer in this case. Would you greet Catherine as she brings the flute and piano? And that applause to, of course, the pianist who is accompanying the band on tour, Joan Rust from Ingle Farm. We're delighted, Joan, that you are able to serve in this way. I have a pilot who guides me night and day through cloud and sunshine. I'll trust him, come what may. These are the words that are associated with the E-flat tuba solo, Cloud and Sunshine. The writer of these variations is Gordon Collins, our bandmaster. Paul Beams will be the one playing and accompanying, playing the solo part in this. Paul, I understand, began his brass education on cornet and felt that he wasn't doing too well and took up the tuba and really took off in leaps and bounds. He certainly serves our band well musically. You'll enjoy this solo as he brings out Cloud and Sunshine. Thank you, Paul. Jordan's Banks, words set to a traditional tune and yet the arrangement by Gordon Collins. The conductor of the vocal work by the band is Dawn Blakey, who is our band secretary and has put in much of the hard work that's been necessary to get the tour together. The band now with the vocal Jordan's Banks. July of this year will see the 15th anniversary of the Ingle Farm Corps as such. Ingle Farm was a relocation from closer inner city Prospect, moving some kilometres out further north, and 121 soldiers on the roll at the time that the move was made. Now 15 years on, there's some 280 soldiers on the roll, and those folks, many of them have come new to the Army and new to the Lord, the additional people. We're glad for everyone that's come along, and we're especially glad that many people have found the Lord through the move of the Prospect Corps to Ingle Farm. One of those people that came into the Corps some years back was Julie Carr, recently retired as our Corps Secretary, but she has put pen to paper on some of her early experiences at the Army, and under this title, Jill Fox brings an elocution item.
This is a story. I hope you like stories. When I first came to the Army, I was shy and apprehensive. I'd never seen the likes of this before. I mean, people there wore uniforms, and women there wore hats, and a row of people met me at the door. The church became a citadel, and I was marched down to my seat, but I turned right back and sat back by the door. I wasn't taking chances. If I didn't like this lot, I could quickly leave and come again no more. But the meeting started brightly, with the captain at the front, and the people all seemed normal. Well, so far. And the band that looks so important on the platform way up high. And the one who had the baton was the star. Well, first came the announcements. And a man called CSM told us how the SHQ had run that day. He said the songster leader and the BM2, of course, should go to SHQ without delay. They would all go up to Melbourne and join with a TC and talk of army services and care. And the PGO and CS would even go along, and the SCS and DY would be there. Well, the PM couldn't make it. So he rang the SLOs, who decided that the CT was the best. But the CT had appointments at his branch at Murray Bridge, so Fred the CCC would go instead. Well, we finished all the notices and we all stood up to sing. And I waited for those quiet, majestic tones. But people started clapping and the band began to play and Tickerel started waving in the room. So I thought I'd better join them, or I'd look the odd one out. So I tried to sing and clap as they had done. But the beat was very awkward. They were clapping double time and my hands and mouth just wouldn't work as one. I discovered songs have quavers and some instruments have bells. There are cornets, drums and many tunes of joy. But imagine, to my horror, at a program there one night and I was clapping and there should have been applause. Well, then we had some choruses. But what an awful shock. A man got up and interrupted all the singing. He told us what the Lord had done and how he changed a lot and found out God's forgiveness from his sinning. And then someone else got up and told us of his week and of Jesus and how he'd saved him from his folly. And just as I relaxed a bit and settled in my seat, a man got up and shouted, "Fire a volley!" Well, I've learned a lot since then, you know, although I'd never show it, being the shy and reserved person that I am. I've learned of Mrs. Captains, Majors, Brigadiers and such, and I might even join the songsters or the band. I've learned about the songbook with its index at the back and how to look for verses, choruses and lines. And if I really concentrate, I can almost work it out and sometimes even get it right first time. I'm ready for the captain when he sets those fiendish traps and selects songs that have 3 different tunes. I've seen him smile knowingly as I open wide to sing and bellow forth wrong notes into the room. Well, I know where Sayos come from. And I've learned of mercy seats, of flags and glory marches in the hall. Ministers are officers and songsters are the choir and cadets all go to Melbourne for their call. Well, the army is a special place that's different from the rest. So I know you'll understand me when I say, if I get my DYs and my COs muddled up, well, just bear with me. I'll get it right one day.
At the army, does it sound familiar? Here in Tasmania too, and Jill of course works and worships at the army. She's one of our staff in the family support services these days. We have also a youth accommodation service operating from Ingle Farm, and it's a joy, it really is, to be part of all of that. Just Now the other twin, Peter Hobbs, this time brings to us the Haydn Trumpet Concerto, the second movement. He too is a student at the Marrickville Music High School, and again the accompanist is Joan Rush. Really greet these people.